What is happening, Steeler Nation? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here we go, Steelers. Victory Sunday. Something that we have not said in a very, very long time. Welcome, welcome, fellow Steeler Nation members. Welcome, family, to the latest edition of the post-game reaction show. Myself, SimFBallCritic, is your host. Presented to you by the Steel Basement. And we got a win to talk about. And oh boy, do we have a lot, a lot to talk about tonight. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to get into it. Hold on, guys. Let me just pull up the stream on my phone so I can follow it in case the nonsense comes, the nonsense seems to come through and, do all of the trolling and stuff. All right, man, let's get into it. First and foremost, let's say shout outs and welcome to all of the early commenters. Let's start off with Wave Dave 10, CT Pittman. I'm gonna try to pronounce this. Nah, I'm not even gonna pronounce it. I'm gonna just call you Star. Welcome, Star. Brent Fox, Luis D, Builder's Life, Jared Devil, Railfax, Sade. What up, Sade? What up, Miss Lady? Thank you for coming through. Thank you. Appreciate it. Guys, make sure y'all say hello to Sade. Take care of our ladies in the chat. Y'all already know how we do. Lee Sharp. Who else we got? Hello, Miss Odessa. Another one of our favorite ladies in the chat. Make sure you all say hello to Odessa. Marlon Nicholson. Sun Moon 80. Ooh, I see some people in the chat, by the way, that I could say a whole lot about, but I'm not. I see some names out here, man, that, have had some funny opinions. But again, this is why I just sit back and chill and watch. That's why I don't overreact. Let's get to it. Reggie Reg, what's happening? Tony Carlson, Brian Williams, Austin Johnson, Freddie, is it Goose? Goose? Freddie Goose. I'll say Goose. Who else we got? Brother Mark 1992. What's up, Brother Mark? I haven't seen you in a while. I'm glad to see you back. Smitty, my man, Smitty 753. Joshua Shields. Mr. Winningham, what's going on tonight, sir? The real Missy. Hello, Miss Lady. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Fellas, y'all already know. Say hello to the lovely ladies. Who else we got in here? Jeremy Johnson. My man Cut Boy is in the building. Ghost TY, Lawrence Holcomb, JQ. And we'll stop right about there. We will take this donation that we have here from Kev. So fun. Round of applause. Appreciate the donation. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure my applause is working. It is. Thank you for the donation. I don't know why the notification is so far behind, but I saw it pop up in the chat, so I'm going to go ahead and say thank you in advance, even though, again, I don't think the notification showed up, but it's all good. Kev So Fun says, Sim, we have to eat our words. Didn't think he was going to win, and where the Mike Tomlin haters now. And Chase Claypool impresses me. Was at work, but I watched a little bit. I'm impressed with Mitch. He says he did a good job. Yeah, I mean, listen, some people make the joke about people having to eat crow and all of that. Listen, man, this is why I tell y'all I keep an even kill. This is why I don't overreact. This is why. Just watch the games and see what happens. Everyone always has this speculation about what this guy doesn't do, what this coach doesn't do, and then, you find yourself in a position, But I appreciate the donation, man. So listen, let's get into it. There's a lot to cover today. A lot. So I'm going to start right from the top. First and foremost, we will address the inactives. Most of you guys know who they were. It was our entire starting secondary, with the exception of Terrell Edmonds. Levi Wallace, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Cam Sutton, Akello Witherspoon. Fryer moved offensively, and Kevin Green, which I don't think any of us are crying about that. But that's what we came into this game with. Now, there were a couple injuries in this game, and we'll have to keep our eyes on some of these. Hold on, looks like we got another donation. I don't understand. Let me see. Why are the alerts don't seem to be working, guys? So I'm gonna have to check on that. So let me apologize in advance if I don't hear or see your donation. Normally it pops up on the screen. There's another one rolling in. Yeah. It's weird. I don't know why it's not working. So hold on, guys. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me try something. Give me a quick second here. Don't know why that's not working. So what I'm gonna have to do. Hold on. Hold on, I'm doing a real test because I don't want to miss you guys' comments and your donations. But I'm not gonna hold y'all up. I'll do this at a later time. I don't know why it's not happening, but we got a host of donations. So let me just throw a round of applause to all of you guys. And like I said, if I miss your donation, please forgive me. I can't, if I'm not looking at the screen, I won't see it. Usually I can hear it because it pops up and you guys can see it as well. But let's just go from there. So we already had Kev So Fun. We have Luis D. We have Luis D with 2, as a matter of fact. We have CT Pittman as well. So let's read off all of these comments. The one from CT Pittman says, Sim, you solidified this win earlier this week in Madden. I sure did. Isn't that crazy? And I'm going to talk a little bit about that game a little bit later because it is eerily similar to what the score actually was, as well as Chase Claypool's performance. Crazy. But all right, let's get to it. Who else? Luis D. Where's Luis? There were 2 of them. One of them says, safe to say that Terrell Edmonds makes this defense better. Listen, people, they pile on to Terrell Edmonds for whatever reason. I've always said that Terrell Edmonds is good at what he does. Okay, he's not a ball hawk. He might not be a significant playmaker, but Terrell Edmonds is good at what he does, and he made a couple plays today, and that was great to see that. Let me see what else y'all got. My man Jameer Sanders says we only 1 game out of first. Let's thank you. He says, I think he wants to say, let's go. Thank you, Mitch. And see, it's funny to see so many people all back up on Mitch now. This is hilarious. I promise y'all, I got a lot to talk about today. A lot. Let's get started. First and foremost, let's do first offensive series, first defensive series. So the Pittsburgh Steelers kick off the ball, and Tom Brady and company, they are able to get the ball first. Here we are, first defensive series. The Steelers are able to stuff the run on first down. They limit it to just 1 gain. There was an incomplete pass on second down, and then facing a 3rd and 9, the Steelers are able to get off the field with a 3 and out. It was good pressure up the middle by Larry Ogunjobi. We get off the field, and it's funny, again, it's not about who's right, who's wrong. We're all guessing, we're all speculating, but I feel good when things that I say are validated. Last night, for you guys who saw the pregame show, I did a pregame show last night. I know they're rare. And I said, one of the keys to victory would be if the Steelers are able to get any type of pressure. Oh, there's the notification. There we go. I saw Jameer's. Great. If the Steelers are able to get any pressure up the middle, they have a chance. Because I knew that is where Brady is the most uncomfortable. That is also where the Steelers would have an opportunity to force some bad throws, yada, yada, yada. And we did. And look, there are all the notifications popping in now. But it's always cool when that stuff happens because I am not an NFL coach. I have never played in the NFL. I just pride myself on knowing a little bit of football. And I also pride myself on watching film and kind of understanding where some weaknesses are with the opponent or understanding what the Steelers are good at, what they're not good at. And then when I can deliver that message and it happens, it makes you feel good because, again, at least you're looking at the right thing, right? So that was one of my keys. I said, listen, if we can get pressure up the middle, Brady is a statue for the most part. We have a shot, even with the backup secondary. And as you see right there on the first series, 3 and out. That was beautiful stuff. Now let's talk about the Steelers' first offensive series. Pickett hits Pickens for an 8-yard gain on first down. Pickett to Pickens. Get used to that. There was a pass to Deontay Johnson to convert a 2nd and 2. Pickett then hits Claypool on an RPO to convert another first down. Then Najee Harris loses 4 yards on the next play. It was a pitch out, like a toss out that they were trying to run. Devin White, is able to, and company are able to kind of sniff that one out. And I think actually it was Winfield. I think it was Antoine Winfield that kind of sniffed that one out. But anyway, we lose 4 yards there. And then Claypool picks up an 8-yard gain on a handoff to him. Brings up a 3rd and 6. Then there was a pass that was incomplete, but there was a personal foul on Devin White, which helped us move the chains. So shout outs to Devin White. Appreciate you, brother. The Steelers then pick up 1 yard with Najee on the next play. Then there was another handoff to Deontay Johnson, and we pick up 3 yards. The Steelers are now facing a 3rd and 6. There was a false start by Kevin Dotson. Keep that name in the back of your head because I'm about to come back to him. False start by Kevin Dotson. And then pushed it to a 3rd and 11, but Pickett is able to scramble, picks up 10 yards. Guess what happens after that? Very similar to what I did in the Madden game, right? Mike Tomlin. What did I say in that video? He shows that he has a pair. We go for it on 4th and 1. And what did I say in the Madden video? I say, man, you know what? When you're 1 and 4, everything's on the table. Well, lo and behold, look at what Tomlin did in the real world. We go for it, and we pick it up with Warren. All right, we're driving. Pickett then hits Deontay Johnson on the next play for a 4-yard pickup. Brings up a 2nd and goal at the 6. Pickett finds Najee Harris for a touchdown to cap off that drive. I said it was a great play call in that scenario by Canada, but oh boy, oh Canada, I have a lot to talk about you, buddy. But it was a great call by Tomlin to go for it on 4th and 1. I wrote that. And then also I wrote here that Reed was called for offsides. And wait, I put this this is in the wrong spot. I put this in the wrong spot. But there was a moment when, okay, I think I know what this is supposed to be. Hold on, let me put it up there with the penalties. That's where it's supposed to be. Give me a second, guys. Let me rearrange my notes because we're going to get the penalties as well. Matter of fact, let's do that first, and then I'll go through the possessions. So, penalties. False start by Kevin Dotson on first drive. Trey Norwood called for a neutral zone infraction on a field goal attempt. First quarter. Holding by Kevin Dotson. Second quarter. Tyson Alualu gets called for defensive holding in the third. James Pierre called for holding in the third. Brings up a 1st and goal. James Pierre jumps off sides a few plays later on a field goal attempt. Luckily, it was 4th and goal. Kevin Dotson called for holding in the third. Kenny gets hit, and it wipes out a catch downfield. You guys remember that play? Miles Jack goes down. I put this in the wrong spot. Man, what is going on with me and my typing? Hold on. So the next penalty after that, I said that was Malik Reed. He was called for offsides as well as there was too many men on field and that one drive in the 4th quarter. So that was a killer as well. But those were basically your penalties. Now let's get to a couple office visits. You guys ready for that? First up, Kevin Dotson. Bring your big old self in this office, sir. Get your big self in here. Kevin, you know what? I'm going to take a sip of water, Mr. Dotson, before I address you, because I'm that hot. I might overload. Mr. Dotson, I might be done with you. Let me explain to you why I'm done with you right now. You're going to have to earn me back. Matter of fact, I will no longer address you as Kevin Dotson. Your name from now on will be number 69 and not the fun version of 69. I'm sorry, y'all. I couldn't resist. We're just going to call you 69. Matter of fact, That name is too fun for you. We may just call you left guard. That might be what I address you as. Left guard. Sir, ever since you have been drafted, I, for one, pounded the table telling my lovely Steeler Nation here, hey man, this guy's gonna be a stud. He's gonna be a stud. We watched your film. We was like, yo, this dude is going to be a stud. We actually said you were gonna be a mauler in the run game. We were looking forward to you pulling along, you and David DeCastro. We felt like we had two guys now that could pull. You got injured. Okay, I know, I get it. But ever since you have been inserted in the starting lineup, you have not been impressive. We've walked away from this saying, yo, this dude, I don't know. And today, 3 penalties on you? 3. A lot of offensive linemen pride themselves on not having 3 penalties all year. I know that's not realistic, but some. You got 3 in one game, bro. One of which you cost us a shot downfield. And not only did you cause the shot downfield to not be awarded, you also allowed your quarterback to get obliterated. If you gonna hold, I need you to hold. I'm done with you, bro. I'm done with you. I'm almost close, and I know still a nation they're gonna lose it when I say this, but I'm almost this close from telling KG to come and play. I'm almost this close for allowing him to play guard. And you know how we feel about him. You have been a disappointment. So, Mr. Left Guard, let's see if you can earn your name back for the rest of this season. Find your way out of this office, please. We got a donation to take, man. Andre Romero, appreciate it. Round of applause. Andre says, send Matt Canada out on the short bus. Oh, we gonna get to Mr. Canada. Second person we want to bring in the office really quick, and then I'm gonna move on. James Pierre. Yeah, you. Yeah. I know you way back there and you can't hear me. Come on over to the office real quick. Pierre. Pierre, I'm not going to be as hard on you because you haven't gotten a lot of playing time, but you're back in this office again. Remember last week? I don't know what you would. Yeah, I'm talking about last week. Shut up. Don't interrupt me, James, please. Remember last week? I don't know what you were doing trying to field that kickoff. What was that? What was that? Now here you are again this week. Can you explain to me, Mr. Pierre, how you get 2 penalties in a 4-play swing? How does this happen? 2 penalties in 4 plays. It might have been 5, but I think it was 4. But regardless, how does that happen? 2 penalties within a 4 to 5 play range. Could have been costly. I mean, dog, I understand it's a rough game out there and you're going against Mike Evans. I get it. But why don't you guys in the secondary know once you have grabbed someone, just let them go? Don't you understand that the refs sometimes will overlook it if it kind of looks like, oh, he didn't hold him too long. But when you hold and almost get the man in a headlock, what you think they gonna call? And then you the only person to move on the kickoff, the field goal attempt. The only one. Way down the line when all you got to do is look down and watch the ball. Come on, man. Come on, Pierre. We got high hopes from you, man. We had high hopes from you from way back when. And you continue to show us why. However, let me give you a little bit of credit before you leave. I think you might have played a decent game in the secondary today. To be determined. I'll look at the film, but I think you and Josh Jackson, for the most part, did okay against Godwin and against Evans, because a lot of the stuff that was happening was in the middle of the field. But all right, go on, but you got to clean that up, sir. We had a donation, man. Round of applause. CT Pittman says, and thank you for the donation. Had my cousin over watching the game with me, and I told him, watch Canada's offense. Run, pass like clockwork. Most of the game. Shaking my head. Oh, we going to get to Canada. Even in a win. Even in a couple times, there were two or three plays that I thought were great calls. Oh, we still going to tear off, and you know what? we going to rip him a new one. Don't worry. But all right, man, let me get to it, man. Let me get to it. I told y'all I had a lot to talk about today, and I got a couple more office visits. It's the coaching staff. Let's do it. Let's see. What do we got? Where do we want to start? Let's see. So the next drive, I have key moments here. Larry Ogunjobi, and somehow my notes got twisted because I talked about the drive here. I said Brady finds Evans downfield in front of Josh Jackson. It was off coverage. Steelers facing the 3rd and 2. The Bucs convert on a quick swing pass to the back. Great play by Miles Jack to prevent the touchdown to break. Steelers able to get off the field on a 3rd and 10. Buccaneers forced to kick a field goal 7-3. So that must have been somehow that got out of sync. And the order is off, but that's what I wrote at some point. And that was when it was 7-3. So second drive for the offense. Steelers looked confused on this possession. A 3 and out. The 3rd down audible looked very bad. I wrote here, late audible by Pickett. It looks like there was a screenplay based off of what James Daniels was doing. And most of the offensive line were going to the right, but James Daniels literally olayed the guy who was pass rushing, kind of, pushed him off and went out. So it looks like either there was a screen called and Kenny audible to something else, or there was another play called and James Daniels thought it was still a screen. Because if you look at Warren on that play, Warren didn't look like he was running the screen unless it was, severely delayed. I don't know. All I do know, and this is something Kenny Pickett is going to have to work on. He's a rookie, guys. Again, we're starting to see his rookie stuff come out. Quite a few times we were getting really low in that play clock. And when we had to call a timeout, even on that play, the audible was extremely late. He just didn't have his clock management down today for the most part. So that's a strike against Kenny. But again, I told y'all. So for all of you guys who are going to run off the deep end and say, see, we should have drafted Stones. It's rookie stuff. He's going to go through this. Be patient. You're going to have to be patient with Kenny Pickett. So next, the Steelers got no pressure on the following drive, but Cam and Larry O, with 2 big run stuffs on the goal-to-go situations, brings up a 3rd and goal, excuse me, and Malik Reed and Cam Hayward able to get the sack, and we forced another field goal at that point at 7-6, Pittsburgh Steelers. And shout outs to Malik Reed, finally getting him a sack. And hold on, guys, give me a second, man. I think my wife just came home. Her and my son had went out to see my little niece's dance recital. Give me a second, guys. Let me just text my wife to tell my son to take the dog out. 1 second. All right. We're back. So, yes. 7-6. And like I said, shout outs to Malik Reed finally doing something. And Larry O, man. Remember what I said before the season started in preseason? I said 2 guys that are going to make a difference for us was Miles Jack and Larry O. Larry O had a phenomenal game, man. It was quite a few times he was showing his worth. And speaking of that, if I'm Omar Khan, excuse me, we might want to consider getting this guy back. We might want to consider extending him now because, again, we cannot forget the contract that he had before, I think with the Bears, failed the physical. This is the reason why we got him on a 1-year deal. I like Larry O. I like a healthy Larry O. You see what Larry O can bring to the table. We have an aging Cam Hayward. Alu's not really playing well. We need to keep a guy like Larry O, especially in nickel situations. I like having him and Leal. I like him in those situations, right? So anyway, let's get back to the point. Right after that, the third offensive drive, there was a nice run by Najee Harris on the second play of the drive. It was a pretty solid run on that play. Steelers then are able to convert a 3rd and 4 with a quick pass to Claypool. Great throw by Pickett with tight coverage. You notice Pickett threw it. It was like a little curl type situation. Pickett threw it away from the defense where only Claypool can make the throw and make the catch. And to me, that kind of shows what that shows what a quarterback is made of, with the position, ball placement in that situation. Extremely tight coverage, and he puts it in a place where Claypool can use his body and make the catch. You love seeing stuff like that. What else do I have here from there? Pickett converts another 3rd down with a strike to Deontay Johnson. It was great separation on the route, but of course it was holding by Kevin Dotson, which brings up a 1st and 20. And then on 3rd and 15, Pickett hits Gentry for only a 4-yard gain. Boswell able to hit a 55-yard kick. It hit off the crossbar, but it went in. And the Steelers are now up 10-6. The next defensive possession, Steelers get off the field with a 3-and-out. Pressure up the middle by Cam Hayward leads to an incomplete pass on 3rd and 2. Fourth offensive drive. Guess what the Steelers do? Oh, they return the favor and they go 3-and-out. Yeah. It picked up only 2 yards on the drive, and there was a deep comeback throw to Pickens, something that I have seen this entire season. We're still running these vertical routes. Defensively, after that, Steelers are able to get off the field with good coverage by Pierre on a 3rd down after a sack fumble by Highsmith. Shout outs to Highsmith, getting a little pressure there. But like I said, Pierre made a couple plays here and there. But, those penalties, I got to knock them for that. Fifth offensive drive. Guess what the Steelers do this time? They go 3-and-out. But here's where I have a coaching visit. Mike Tomlin and Canada seem to feel comfortable in this situation. This was right before the half, right? This was right before the half. It was about 40-something seconds left. Why do we go so conservative there? I understand, okay, maybe the offense is not moving the ball the way you would want them to, but you cannot go conservative. Give Tom Brady the ball back, and guess what they ended up doing? They got in field goal range, and it's now 10-9. Mike Tomlin, coach, can you come in the office real quick? Coach T, again, I support you. Think you're a great coach. I love what you do for the Steelers. Personality-wise, how you get these guys, you never, what did you always say? Don't blink. Ain't that what you usually say? And didn't the players tell us at one time, we've heard you say, you blink, I'll cut your eyelids off? Well, can I ask you a question, Coach? What happened to your eyelids today? It looked like you blinked because y'all went real conservative there. I mean, Matt Canada, y'all run the ball back to back, and you give Brady the ball back. And guess what? Brady comes right down. He didn't blink. He took your advice, finds somebody down the middle of the field, and they in field goal range, and it goes to 10-9. That could have been significant. You blinked. You didn't follow your own advice, sir. Again, I am a fan, Tomlin, but you are not without criticism. I'm going to call it like it is. And to me, it looked like that whole, if you blink, I'll cut your eyelids off. It sure looked like your eyelids were like this. You were blinking. All that, you can't live in that. It looked like you was living in your fears there. And Matt Canada, I'm just looking at you. Oh, you coming later. You're definitely coming later, but I'm going to just give you the side eye on this one because I don't know if it was you doing that or if it was Coach. So both of y'all go catch this, but I got to put it on Coach because Coach says, you said, Mike T, you have your hands in it. I would assume you're the guy that's managing and clock. I would assume that was your decision. That was bad. That could have cost us. So again, I think you are a great coach. I love what you do for my Steelers. But sir, this is one of the things I've always said. One of the two things that I've always said that I have an issue with in your tenure has been clock management. That's been one of them. That to me right there, you cannot do that when you have Tom Brady on the other side. You just cannot do that. All right, T. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the win today. Look at this comment. Y'all know I always got to point out my man Mark Malone because Mark Malone does not like, he doesn't like Tomlin. But that's a funny comment coming from you, Mark. He says, I'm just glad he had the team ready to play today. What cracks me up with that kind of comment, this ain't just at you, Mark, is I just do not believe that statement. I hate it when the media people say it. Come on. Where can we quantify that? An NFL coach should have his team ready to play every week. I think we put too much emphasis on the head coach. There's no way you're ever going to get me to believe that any of these coaches are not preparing to win. Now, how they prepare is different, but it just always cracks me up how when we win, excuse me, he had them ready to play. When we lose, he didn't have them ready to play. We never give credit to the other team that just outplayed us or whatever, or outcoached us. To me, that never, ever means that. It's just me. I'm not telling you guys to think how y'all think, but that statement, I've never liked that. And it ain't just at the Steelers. When I hear that sometimes from when they talk about other coaches, I just never buy into that. I don't believe that any coach goes into the week not ready to win a game. The only time you'll get me to believe that is when they've wrapped up the playoffs and you're finishing out the last couple of weeks. That's the only time I think that statement really applies. But again, if that's your opinion, then that's mine. So let's move on. Let's see. Where are we? 10-6. Pressure. 3rd and 2. Deep comeback. That's where we're at. Deep comeback by, lo and behold, a vertical route on 3rd and 2. We're unable to hit it to Pickens. And honestly, again, this is one of the things that I would have to get on Kenny Pickett about on that particular play. I'm glad he threw it out of bounds because had he threw that on the money, Davis is probably taking it the other way. So Kenny still has some warts that he's going to have to work through as well. And I understand it. It's respectable. He's a rookie. Oh, nope. Oops, I went back too far. So the last place we left off was before half. Tomlin elected to go conservative. Brady gets the field goal, 10-9. All right, come back to the second half. 6th drive is started by Steven Sims. Starts the drive with a huge return to the Bucs 12-yard line. Now, let's just rest on that for a minute. Man, I wish he could have gotten to that end zone because that could have changed the complexion of this game. He was unfortunately he wasn't able to get in the end zone. He ran out of gas. Dean on the other side and Davis kind of walked him down. Luckily, he didn't fumble because that was a great play by Dean to try to knock the ball out. But man, Steven Sims, either you ran out of gas or you was coasting. I just need you to be a little faster in that situation, but I'm not taking anything away from you. Great return. You even had another nice, decent punt return early in the game. So, hey, man, I appreciate what you've given to us. You've arrived. Where is he? I don't even see him back there. I'm looking for Gunner. Oh, there he is. I'm sorry, Gunnar. You probably assume now that you're probably not going to play again. I'm sorry. Steven Sims just showed up. So shout outs to Steven Sims. But the drive. Steelers end up in a 3rd and 4. And they go 3 and out after that return. 3 and out after a return to the 12-yard line of the Bucs. We have to settle for a field goal. And it's 13-9. And on that play on 3rd down, Kenny actually probably had a better shot to hit Najee Harris. If you go back and look at that play, it was quick. Najee had beat his man, and he came open across the middle. He was ahead of him. If Kenny looks his way, he can throw it out in front of Najee. That's going to be a conversion, maybe a touchdown. But Kenny is looking for Pickens. Kind of overshoots Pickens in the back of the end zone. We go 3 and out and set up for a field goal. So again, these are little things too that Kenny is going to have to work through. I think Kenny did a good job against the Bills going through his progressions, but he's going to have to keep building those skills, right? And again, in that short and distance situation, maybe that was the intended call, but it's funny how myself, Tony, and Kenyon were texting during the game, and Tony said, man, I just want us to get the first down here. We don't have to score. It's 3rd and 4. Let's look short first. Unless you see something clear off the line that's going to be open, we don't have to do that. Pick up the first down, and like I said, Najee was there. My big brother, cousin Floyd, pointed that out as well. He texted me, he was like, man, I think Najee was open. I went back, I rewinded and watched it play. So little stuff like that, Kenny is going to have to develop. But again, I think Kenny will be fine. I'm not bagging on Kenny. But at that point, it's 13-9. And I'm talking to Leonard as we're watching the game. I'm like, look, man, I never imagined this last night. If you saw the the pregame, I can't talk today. If you saw me in the pregame show, I didn't think we had any opportunities in this game with that secondary being decimated. I just didn't think we'd be sitting at this position. And I'm telling them, I'm like, Leonard, it's the 3rd quarter. It's 13-9. If we could get some points, we might have a shot. So right after that, secondary gives up a deep shot down the middle of the field to Godwin. Man, what a throw by Brady. You guys remember that one? Mollett was underneath coverage. You had Trey Norwood coming over the top. And Brady kind of throws it back shoulder of Godwin. Excellent throw, excellent catch. But I just wish Mollett could have made a better play on it. But again, sometimes, man, better offense. Outstanding ball placement. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Brady had a couple passes today that was errant. But that boy was putting the ball in spots where only his receiver could get to it. Even that drop touchdown to Gage later on in the game, how he threw it low. Gage probably should have came up with that one. It was good coverage there, but again, Brady put it in a spot. He was doing that quite often today, man. So the old school 44-year-old guy is doing his thing. 1 second, guys. The missus is asking me a question. All right, so let me speed it up. Let's see. Asking about dinner plans and such. Looks like we have another donation. We do. I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. I see it now. Thank you, Liberty Library. Round of applause. Wow. That's interesting. I didn't know that. He says Kenny Pickett is now the 6th rookie quarterback to ever beat Brady. That's interesting. It's very interesting right there. Very interesting. I didn't know that stat, so I appreciate that. All right, so let's get it moving. Let's get through this, man. What else we got? Where was I? 3rd and 4. Okay, so Steelers give up the deep shot to Godwin. Pierre's call for holding brings up a 1st and goal. Steelers are faced with a 3rd and goal, and the defense is able to hold, forces another field goal. But James Pierre's called for offsides, but luckily it was 4th and goal. It didn't cost us anything. So at that point, the Bucs are able to kick the field goal there, if I remember correctly. And yes, 13-12. 7th drive. Dotson is called for holding. Kenny gets hit and has to leave the game. And the funny thing is, even though that ball was floating like a duck after Kenny being hit, Deontay Johnson able to come back and make the catch deep downfield. That was going to put us at midfield or beyond, if I remember correctly. But because Kevin Dotson held, we get called for that. And he didn't even hold well because he allowed Kenny Pickett to get hit and Kenny leaves the game. Just terrible. I'm done with Kevin Dotson, man. So here comes Mitch Trubisky. He finds Chase Claypool in the middle of the field to convert a third down. But the Steelers were unable to convert the second, third, and 5. It was a PBU by Davis. I said this. Remember the one right after that where it was a pass breakup? He just got back and played on Deontay Johnson. Deontay was waiting for the ball. Here comes Carlton Davis, knocks it out. Again, ball placement is key. Because immediately when I saw that, I text Tony and text Floyd, and I was like, Tony and Kenyon and Floyd, if he puts that ball on the outside of Deontay Johnson, it's probably caught, and it's probably not a PBU. Rewind time and think back to the play we talked about when Kenny Pickett found Claypool in that tight coverage. He put the ball on the outside, away from the defense. If Mitch Trubisky was able to do that on that play, it probably doesn't get broken up because Davis had to haul it to get over there. Now, when I go back and watch the film, I can't quite remember if pressure was chasing Mitch or not at that moment, but, it just goes to show you, man, sometimes ball placement it's the matter of converting and not, scoring and not. So, at that point, we were unable to do anything. On the next drive, the Bucs start deep in their own territory after a hold, puts them on first down. So they then end up facing a 3rd and 7, and the Steelers are able to get off the field with a 3 and out. Defense is playing good football, man. 8th drive. The drive starts with play action, and Mitch gets sacked. And I wrote here, play action to start that drive when we haven't run the ball well at all in the game. Again, does the running game have to go in order for play action to work? No, because it's always a threat. But it's much easier to defend when you know this team has not run the ball on you. And when you are the 6th ranked passing defense. Just saying. We give him sack, and Chooks Okorafor gives up the sack, and then Chooks gets beat again on 3rd and 5, and of course, the Steelers go 3 and out. Because Chooks gets beat, pressure comes, unable to convert. So just like that, man, the defense goes 3 and out, and then the offense goes 3 and out. Very next drive, Steelers get off the field with another 3 and out defensively. Chris Wormley gets a nice run stop on Fournette on 3rd and 1. 9th drive, Steelers facing a 3rd and 13 after a tackle for loss on yet another wide receiver handout. Mitch finds Connor Haywood for a 45-yard pickup on a free play and a too many men on field, so the defense had 2 penalties there. And I said it was a smart play by Mitch. Kind of reminds you of like the Aaron Rodgers. He's really good at getting guys, getting the 12th man on the field. But with them being offsides, obviously, free play. And then Mitch finds Claypool in the end zone for 6. And at this point, I'm like, okay, here we come. Steelers 20-12. We got a shot. Good job by Mitch Trubisky. Steelers are then faced with a 3rd and 4, and Brady finds Auton against Spillane to convert. Listen, Spillane is going to be better in man, it looks like, because a couple of those times in man, he was close. Spillane is horrible in zone, man. I'm sorry. He's just not the greatest athlete. He's just not. He's just not. I'm sorry. From what I've seen, I could be wrong, but it looked like today he had a better chance when he was man. I don't want that either. But today he definitely seemed to play man better than he played zone. And again, I'm just not a fan of Robert Spillane out there, man, in these passing downs. I'm just not. I'm not going to back off of that. I don't care if he has a decent rep. That's just how I feel. And I'm never going to flip-flop that. He would severely have to change my mind. Like, I'm sorry. Steelers facing a 3rd and 1, and Steelers stuffed Brady on the quarterback sneak, but the Bucs were able to convert to 4th and 1 with the pitch out to Fournette. Great call with that big, strong man running the ball like that. I mean, it's hard to tackle that dude, man, when he got a head of steam. And that's why I think, in his scenario, it was a great call to run a pitch out on the 4th and 1 because you get that head of steam going. And you figure he going to get at least a yard, and he got a few more than that. So that was excellent. Steelers were then faced with the 3rd and 11, and the Steelers give up 10 yards. And then the Bucs are able to convert with a quick pass to the other running back. I forget his name, but I think he's a rookie on the left side. Short gain, but it was 1 yard. The Bucs then able to score with a quick swing pass to Fournette, a missed tackle by Spillane. Fournette cuts inside and he just bulldozes people and gets the touchdown. But then Devin Bush comes to life on the PBU to prevent the 2-point conversion. Got to give a little credit to Devin Bush. Devin Bush made a couple tackles out there today. So I shall say this. We've been beefing with Devin Bush. We've been on his head, but he made a couple plays today, and I'm happy about that. Congratulations to Devin Bush, because that PBU on the 2-point conversion was significant. And it was smart, as they showed. We were running the zone. He comes off of the tight end, recognizes Godwin coming, jumps it, swats it without being called for pass interference. Shout outs, round of applause to Devin Bush. What happens after that? 10th drive of the game. Steelers are faced with a 3rd and 16 after a horrendous snap by Mason Cole. And Mitch is able to find Chase Claypool in the middle of the field to convert. Steelers are then faced with a 3rd and 11. And I'm thinking to myself, ain't no way we're going to convert 3rd and long twice on this drive. Mitch finds Claypool to convert again along the sideline. And what a phenomenal catch by Chase Claypool, which is the reason why the man is in my thumbnail. Claypool came to life in this game. Next play after that, Mitch gets 9 yards on the bootleg, brings up a 2nd and 1. Good job, Matt Canada. Thank you. Calling something different. And on 2nd and 1, quarterback sneak, Mitch gets the first down, and the game is over. What a game by the Steelers. Now, let me get this last office visit out the way, and then I'll give you my quick takeaways, and I'll stay in the chat for just a few minutes, and then I'm going to get out of here. Come on. Oh, wow. You're already at the door. Look, Matt Canada's already here. He knew I was calling him. Give me a second, Matt. It's very interesting, Mr. Canada, that your name is Matt Canada. Because oftentimes when I watch the way you call plays and the way you coach, I often feel like you're actually in Canada and you're not in the stadium. Is that some type of connection there? I actually get the impression that you're in Canada. You can't be in the stadium. There's no way possible that you're anywhere close to the actual game where you can feel the game or you can review what's happening. You really must be in Canada when you're calling these plays. I don't understand you, sir. You are the most inconsistent play call I think I have ever seen. It's amazing to me. The first drive, we opened up passing the ball back to back outside of our normal. We normally hand off the ball back to back. We move on down the field. You mix in your little cute handoffs to the wide receiver, but then you keep it mixed. We go right down the field, and we score. Then in the middle of the game, I'm scratching my head again because you continue to run these predictable plays. Your route combinations are horrible, particularly on 3rd down. How many times are we going to run these jet sweeps, these handoffs, these end arounds, whatever you're calling them? We ran them 5 times today. 5 times. It's no longer tricking people. And here's the thing, Matt Canada, if you're going to continue to do that, why don't we just keep running the fake jet? At least to lull the defense to sleep. Everybody in the world knows when it's coming because you run it out of the same formations. You don't adjust the motion. I mean, dude, what are you doing? But then here you come on the last drive. We got a 4-minute drive. And I'm looking at Leonard and I'm saying, Leonard, our offense can put this away. I'm just not confident that they can. And look what you do. Couple big plays. Claypool comes up big. But then you run that bootleg with Mitch that nobody's expecting. That is what you call a great situational play call. Why do you fall asleep during the game? You seem to only come alive every now and then. And that's the biggest issue I have with you, Matt Canada. I don't care that we won the game today. I'm still on your head. I've been on you since watching that Cleveland game very intently in the All-22. Your route combinations have not changed. We saw it again in this game. The deep comebacks on third down. You just run these verticals, and most of the time it's a comeback. A lot of times it's with all eligible receivers. Shout outs to Alex Kazor at Steelers Depot. I'm sure you're tired of him too, where he showed earlier in the week how many times you've run the sprint out. You ran it again today. It's like your plays don't change. It's like you fall in love with what you want to do versus what actually works. And then you pull a play out of your hat every now and then. I'm not saying every play is going to work, but can you stop being so predictable? Can you at least try some different things? That's all I'm asking. Your situational play call has been in the toilet. This is the reason why at the end of the season, I am ready to say it now. I hope your contract is not extended. I have made up my decision. Thank you, sir, and goodbye. All right, man. Hey, Lanisha. Hello, Miss Lanisha. I knew you would be. Hey, Debbie. Miss Debbie. Make sure y'all say hello to our lovely ladies, man. All right, let me wrap this thing up, guys. Here are my quick takeaways from this game. Steeler Nation, you're gonna need to be patient with Kenny Pickett. Listen, Mitch Trubisky came in and did a good job filling in for Kenny. Put together a touchdown drive and played like a veteran, okay? And that's what you need from your backup. If he's going to be the backup, that's what you want. You want a guy who's capable. Shout outs to him. He's handled this whole thing professionally. And it's funny because, again, a lot of y'all in this very chat was saying, man, we should trade him, get rid of him. Yeah, so, okay, does the game, let me just ask this question. I don't know. Just put a scenario out there. Does the game turn out the same way if Trubisky was traded and Mason Rudolph comes in? I'm going to just leave that one. I'm just curious. And the reason why I like to say these things, because y'all run so fast to get rid of this guy, get rid of this guy. What about Mike Tomlin? Everybody want to fire Mike Tomlin. Is he getting any credit today for the win? I'm curious to know. Is he getting any credit today? We'll see. But see how y'all change from week to week, game to game. I don't do that. I'm pretty much have had it out with Matt Canada at this point. I've been trying to give him passes. I don't care if our offense starts somehow putting up points for the remainder of the season. I've seen enough out of him so far that I don't believe he will change. So, I mean, it would have to be a complete 180 for me to be back on his side right now. And I'm going to stick with that. I'm not excited about Matt Canada after the win today. No, there's still things about him I don't like. But I'm just curious. Does Mason Rudolph win this game? And, y'all still want to fire Tomlin? Just stick to it. Just stick to your guns. I see too much flip-flopping. I see it in this chat every week. Stick to what you believe in. Let's see what else we got. What else we got? Another takeaway. Offensive line looked very confused on the second drive of the game. I already talked about that. That was just... I wrote here as well, I'm out on Spillane. No disrespect to Spillane again. Spillane made a couple plays in this game, but I'm tired of seeing this experiment, man, with Robert Spillane just being out there in dime. And Spillane is just not the best athlete. I would rather Spillane turn into what Vince Williams turned into later in his career, where we start bringing him in for rundowns. If the ball is going to be passed in the air, honestly, I'd rather take my chance right now with Bush or Mark Robinson. You know, if you can get him up to speed, and definitely Miles Jack. I'm just out on Spillane. Again, Spillane had a nice PBU today in that man situation against the tight end. But come on, one play does not change my mind. I'm just not as comfortable with him. I wrote here, and I've already talked about it, Matt Canada handed the ball off 5 times to wide receivers today, 4 in the first half. I noticed that Najee's still coming off the field on 3rd down, so that's interesting, man. Let's keep an eye on that. Is Jaylen Warren really that much better than Najee in pass protection and 3rd down? Let's keep our eyes on that. I think Najee, shout outs to Najee, man. He had a nice, strong run later in the 4th quarter, but we still just haven't been able to get him going quite yet. And I wrote here, tip of the cap, man. Tip of the hat to Mitch Trubisky, man, handling the way he did and coming in and winning that game. And the last thing I have here, for any of you guys that follow my Madden videos, this is very eerily similar to how this game actually turned out. My final score in that game was 22-21. Chase Claypool had 7 catches for 110 yards and I think 1 touchdown. This game was 20-18. Chase Claypool had, 7 catches for 96 yards. That is crazy. That is crazy how close that game resembled a game I played in Madden. So, wow, somehow I predicted the outcome. But I'm super happy, man, for Chase Claypool. Again, I don't think the kid, again, Chase Claypool is kind of the same thing I've been saying about Najee. I don't think any of this stuff is a lack of talent. I think Chase Claypool is talented. He's big, he's strong, he shows good hands from time to time, and he showed up big today. I think he's capable of that. He just has to do that. He just hasn't done that. He hasn't attacked the ball. You know, and that's why we've gotten on him. Many people in Steeler Nation. But again, this is why I tell y'all, man, y'all stop flip-flopping. Like, we can't be out on players. We can be upset about a player and how he performed in the game, but y'all be ready to trade and cut these dudes after 1 series. And Chase Claypool messed around and helped us win this game today. So, again, you know, I don't think he's trash. I just think he hasn't come up as big as we need him to be. He needs to come up with more of those 50-50 balls because, again, that one in the Jets game, he should have came down with that one. But I got to give him his love and his credit for what he did today, as well as Mitch Trubisky coming in, handling the situation the way he did. So shout outs to the team. And again, you know, we're still in the thick of things. I still don't feel overly excited about the team because we still got to see. But, you know, we still in the thick of things in the division. Ravens lost. Browns lost. Bengals messed around and won, but I thought they was going to lose too. But if you look at that, I mean, the division is like this. So, still something to look for, right? But, yeah, let's take a few comments, man. Then we're done. Let's take a few comments. Afro Thunder says, I think with Najee Harris, he is still dealing with the injury. I believe that too. With Warren, he can spell Harris, and the Steelers can have a RB by committee. Yeah, I definitely think that he's still dealing with that injury, clearly. I do. Uh-oh, we got somebody else to be fired. Melvin McCullum says, fire Terrell Austin. Okay. All right. Can you give me a little more than that? I just want to know your reasoning. That's all. I'm not challenging it. Here's one thing that is kind of, how do we fix the middle of the field defensively? You know, you play zone, you expect guys that can play a lot of the area. You play man and you're asking the linebackers to, you know, run with guys. I don't know if it's an athlete thing or what, man, but that middle of the field on defense, and Brady kept going to it. So I can't wait to watch the film because was we clamping down Evans and Godwin on the outside? I got to take a look at that. Shout outs, round of applause to that young secondary today. Round of applause to that young secondary, man. They did some things out there. It appears. I'm gonna have to watch the film, but I'm gonna give them credit. Miss Debbie says Chase has to have more of these games for me to come around. I'm with you all the way, Debbie. All the way. That is a fact. Relfax says, did you hear the report saying Canada has no idea how to use Calvin Austin when he plays? Come on, where's creativity? I'm with you. I'm out on Canada. I'll say this. I didn't see him say that. I heard the reports. But let me ask y'all this. Do you guys think, are we taking that literally, or was it kind of tongue-in-cheek? I don't know. I'm not defending Canada because y'all know I'm done with him. But I wonder, was that kind of like, man, I don't know how to use this guy. You know what I'm saying? I think maybe the media ran with that a little too much, but I didn't see it. So maybe he meant that. I don't know. What else we got? Leonard Green says, Mitch is slightly better decision maker with the ball. Mason just has a great deep ball. Okay, y'all talking about Mitch and Mason. Okay. Yeah, and Mason does throw that deep ball pretty well. A lot of people who hate Mason Rudolph never give him credit for anything. He will take them deep shots. Walter Worthy says, middle of the field has been an issue for a decade. Yeah, see, that's the thing. See, this is why I like people like Walter, man. He actively watches the game. He's right. That's been a problem for a long time. And again, like I said, football is very simple in terms of concepts. You have your zone coverages and you have man. You have your cover one, which is zone, and straight up man two, all that kind of stuff. But then you have your cover 2, 3, 4, 6. Cover 4 can turn into man if you match the coverage. Cover 3 can turn into man if you do a match concept. But for the most part, it's simple concepts. So when you see people opening in the middle of the field, a lot of times it's just area, right? And if you're in zone, you need athletes or guys that have the wherewithal to be able to cover areas or read the quarterback, kind of guess where the ball is going, kind of like what Devin Bush did on that 2-point conversion. And I don't know, have we just not had those guys? Think about it. Think about how well at times Shazier was able to play in zone. Shazier was plucking balls off, dog. So sometimes I feel like it's just the athletes. I just think guys like Spillane and maybe even Bush, they're not great in zone coverage in the middle of the field. Because even sometimes today, Brady would throw it underneath them. They get good depth, then he throw it short. So it's just one of those things. And then, Minka has helped with that a lot this year. That's why when you see Minka a lot of times playing the cover one robber, they drop him in the middle. I don't know how you fix it, man. I think it's a combination of athletes. I really do. But it has been a problem for a very long time. Okay, a few more. T-Dog says, that's what I'm saying, man. Even Lawrence Timmons days, how about put Marcus Allen in Spillane's spot if he's going to be in coverage anyway? But who's to say that, why do we believe that Marcus Allen is that much better? I don't think any of us was raving about Marcus Allen when he has played out there as an inside backer. Excuse me. CT Pittman says, my issue with Canada's offense is that it's mostly attacks outside the numbers. We don't attack the middle of the field like teams do against us. Amen to that. It's his concepts, guys. I'm telling y'all, man. We're going to look at the all 22 of this one, and I think we're going to see a lot of the same. And you guys, appreciate all of y'all who have been members of the channel, who've seen my 22 breakdowns. And I'll tell you this, a lot of y'all not watching it. I don't know why y'all missing out. But for you guys who have watched it, I've shown you the concepts, and it's just not good. Leonard Green says, got to give Terrell Edmonds his props today. Yes, he was playing well. Shout outs to Terrell Edmonds. Let's give him a round of applause, man. And I would agree with Tony Carson. And y'all know I've been on record saying this. Edmonds definitely deserves more credit. Edmonds has been Edmonds does what he does well for this defense. He's just not a playmaker per se. People just are hard on our safeties when they don't get interceptions and stuff. But I just think over the years, man, if y'all can't acknowledge what Terrell Edmonds has done for the defense, has he had his woes in coverage? Yeah, at times. He's kind of cleaned that up. But that dude has his tackling, his run support, even when we blitz him. Terrell Edmonds has been a very solid safety for us over the last 2 seasons. I'm saying that. That's my opinion. You can disagree with it, but I'm going to go on record and say that. All right, give me one more, and then I'll get out of here. So much so that I would say I want Evans back. I do. I want him back unless we can find another dog at strong safety. Elisa Shepard said Evans is like Ryan Clark. I understand that analogy. She's the Ryan Clark, to Troy as he's basically Minka's Ryan Clark. I get it. I'm with you. All right, one more, guys. One more, and then I'll get up out of here. Reggie Red says we need to see more Loudermilk. I agree with you on that, but I'm going to ask you, who does he replace? And the reason why I say that is if we're being honest, Leal was playing. It was hard to get Leal off the field. That's why Loudermilk was not in the rotation. Could you possibly go with a situation where you sit down Alu? Maybe. Even though Alu is more of the nose. But, could the defense maybe just say, all right, we're going to trust Adams when we go in base, and we're going to play Loudermilk in other situations where we think it might be a run? You know what I'm saying? And Leal, if Leal is able to come back, it's unfortunate he's on IR, man. That hurts me. But you see what I'm saying? I think that's why Loudermilk wasn't playing. Leal was playing good football, man. Really good football. Okay, Kenyon said he already has his eyes on the safeties. Okay, I'm going to trust my boy Kenyon on that. Y'all already know. All right, last one. Why Diggy says, this has been a great sports weekend. Steelers win. We got great fights, and shout out to the ladies. Bama lost. Great sports weekend. Yeah, man. It was a great one. Oh, man, it was good to see that knockout by Deontay Wilder last night, for any of you guys who may have saw that. Mitch was the spark we needed today. Oh, okay. 412 born. Y'all back on Mitch, huh? Y'all back on Mitch. And there was one more I saw here. Afro Thunder says Leal is a dog. Man, let me tell y'all. Leal gonna be good. I'm calling it now. He's gonna be good. He's going to be good. I'm seeing, a lot of times when you have a draft class or whatever, you see a couple handfuls of guys that you think is gonna be somebody. I'm already calling it. Leal, Pickens, maybe Warren. Got to see more from Warren. Pickett. Yeah. I think we got a nice little compliment of these young boys, man. So we'll see. And Mitch did what he was supposed to do as a backup. I'm fully agreeing with that with J.J. Walker. But all right, guys, let me get out of here and go spend some time with my family, man. Eat some dinner, watch some more football. Ooh, tonight's game is going to be good. I'm going to go check out the rest of this Chiefs and Bills. Happy for Steeler Nation. We got us a win, man. We got us something positive to talk about finally against a good team. Listen, everybody came today. They showed up and played well in the face of adversity. It's good to see that. So we'll see what happens from here. I mean, we got a long road to go, even climbing out of 2-4. We got Miami next week, so next 2 games are on the road, Miami and Philly. So we'll see. But I will be back on Tuesday. As you can see, guys, the phone number there. I might be a little bit past 7:30, so I'm going to say that in advance. But I will be on. It might end up being 8 o'clock. My son and I got some out-of-the-blue haircut appointments at 6:15. We usually do it on Saturday, but we had something to do this past Saturday. So I'm just giving y'all that heads up so y'all know I should be on Tuesday. Regardless, I will be on. I just might not be at 7:30. But other than that, man, great win today. Keep your heads up, Steeler Nation. Support this team, man. Let's just watch them ball, win or lose this season. Need y'all to do this for me. Hit that like button. Click on the notifications. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And become a part of the home team. But outside of that, thank everybody for tuning in. Like I said, man, watch some more football as you feel great about your team today. Let's keep an eye on some of those injuries. Hopefully Kenny Pickett is okay, man. I know they said he has a concussion. Saw his head kind of snap back there. So let's, pray for all of our players, man, even the ones that didn't play. And hopefully we can get healthy and maybe this spark some type of run for us. We shall see. But outside of that, y'all be good. Stay safe. God bless. Good night. And like always, man, thank y'all for coming through, hanging out with me tonight for another post-game reaction show. All right, catch y'all on Tuesday. Peace.